good to be back. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2025. Goodbye, 2024. I hope everybody had a good Christmas. I've done a lot of reflecting and thinking over the festive period, and now I'm back in Dubai. I wanted to make a video about setting goals and how to really make sure that this year is your year. How to make sure that you start doing the things you've always said you wanted to do. How to get to New Year's Eve next year and not be filled with regret and dread and embarrassment and shame and feeling like, oh, I'll try again next year. Like, this year needs to be your year. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. Apologies in advance. I've got a bit of flu and a bit of cold, but I really wanted to make this video anyway, irrespective of how I feel. I thought it was important, even just for my own accountability, my own journaling, if you like, just to get some things out of my brain. But most importantly, I think it could help. I want to start by sharing my 3 biggest goals for 2025. It's all good and well me sitting here and telling people how to live their life and telling people how they should set goals for themselves, but I think it's only right and it's only fair that I start by sharing my 3 biggest goals for this year. And before I do that, I want to just say each of these 3 goals are going to be comprised of a bunch of sub-goals, like a bunch of things which make up this bigger goal. But here are the 3 things that I'm working towards in 2025. The first thing, I have 3 pretty big fitness challenges, goals, targets, whatever you want to call them, that I want to complete in 2025. The first one you know about. In just a few weeks, actually in like 30 something days, I'm going to be running in the Burj to Burj half marathon, my first ever half marathon, my first ever running event. I've never done anything like it before, and even though I've got a background in fitness, even though I've got a health and fitness passion, if you like, running has never really been my thing. And I wanted to make it my thing really badly, and I think because I didn't really enjoy running that much, that's what made it such an attractive goal to me, because I thought if I can overcome that and make it something I really enjoy, I will build a lot of discipline, a lot of resilience, and a lot of consistency as a byproduct of that new habit. And that's what I've really tried to do. Excuse me. Secondary to that, I've set myself a pretty scary time of sub 1 hour 40 minutes for the half marathon. Now if I can pull that off, that will be pretty flippin' amazing, because right now I am nowhere near that time, and it will really be like undeniable, incontrovertible proof that I have taken myself from one place and then through hard work taken myself to a different place. And I think that really is the whole point. That is really what I'm working towards. I'm trying to create a body of work with my training that will act as evidence to myself that I can do stuff that I find really hard and get better by consequence of those things, by those efforts. And that really is the inspiration around this Burj to Burj. It's like, yeah, running's, people pick it up. Some people like it, some people don't like it. Some people have got fitness backgrounds, some people don't. But for me, it's about putting myself through a process and getting better as a byproduct, creating a stack of proof that I can do things even if I don't always feel like it. And that will mean a lot to me if I can pull that off. So there's goal number 1. Goal number 2 is, this year more than any year before, I want to consciously focus on pouring more into the relationships in my life that really, really matter. And on the flip side, releasing some of the guilt I feel for not pouring into everybody and anybody, because that is something which has sort of plagued my life thus far, is feeling a sense of responsibility to give, make sure everybody else is good, prioritizing everybody else's needs above my own. And I've always found it really hard to be selfish, even if it's not selfish acts, quote unquote. I've always found it hard to just truly put myself first and not feel bad as a consequence. And a resolution for myself, or a goal for myself this year, is to really work on that. I really want to get to 2026 and feel like I put myself first, I put my relationships that matter to me first, and I didn't feel so bad about not putting everybody else ahead of myself. I think if I can get to the end of this year and feel like I've done that, that'll be a real sign of personal growth for me. And that's something I'm really looking forward to viscerally experiencing, and knowing that I manifested that. I think that will make me feel really, really good. So there's goal number 2. Goal number 2 of 3. And then number 3 is I want to make a real conscious effort in 2025 to, just like this, candidly, openly, honestly document as much of my pursuit to these goals as possible. Content creation and putting stuff online, it's always been a love-hate relationship for me, to be completely open with you. In my younger years, I always felt like I needed everybody else's approval. I always felt like I needed everybody else to like me. I always felt like I couldn't just be myself and be respected, be loved. And what that meant was, when it came to creating content and posting stuff online, I always found it hard to just show up as who I genuinely am. I always found it hard to just be authentic and not care what people thought of me. And this is something I've really, really tried to work on in the last couple of years in particular. And this year, more than any other year, I want to document as much of my journey as possible, share with you guys as much of it as possible, because I know it can help people. I know I'm not alone when I say these things. Really, that's what's given me the courage to pick up the camera in the first place. Is I went from a place of feeling like only I know what it feels like to be me, and I have all these problems and no one else can understand. And then you get out of your own head and realize, actually, there are tons of other people out there who might be going through the same thing and could take some real value from what you have to share and how you've overcome those obstacles. And that's what I really want to do with my content this year. I might not get it right. I'm going to make mistakes. I might not even hit my goals. But documenting my process, documenting how I navigate those challenges, I hope will help people out there who stumble across my channel. So documenting my journey as much as possible, sharing the tips, sharing the insights. If something goes wrong, I'm going to share it anyway. I feel like I've come a long way with social media. Like, I used to just share the highlights and just share like me looking perfect, me having all the things I thought other people would find admirable. I would dress in like designer clothing all the time and only wear like pristine outfits. All the classic influencer bullshit, basically. That was me down to a T. And the irony of that is, like, that erodes your own confidence when you do that anyway. That's the sad irony. Like, these people that you see online who look like they've got a perfect life, chances are they feel the worst about themselves because they're not being truly genuine, truly authentic. And you might be able to convince the planet of something, but you can't ever convince yourself of it. And that's really how I feel with content creation, making videos, whatever. It's like, I may as well. I'm at this point now where it's like, I may as well just be everything that I am in all of its glory and share it anyway. Because at least then I'll live with myself with, I guess... Oh, hey. I thought I was going to get told off then for recording, but actually, shout out to my girlfriend, because she bought me this little camera that I'm filming on right now, and you never seem to get in trouble for using it. In Dubai, they're quite fussy about using cameras and stuff in public, and whenever you whip out a camera, especially like a professional one with a lens, you're just like jumped on immediately by security. They say, hey, you can't film there, put the camera away. And I've got this like lovely little camera from DJI, and a security guard just walked right past me and didn't say a word. So this camera's passed the vibe check. Thank you for the best gift ever. I can't remember where I was at with that story, probably waffling a bit. But yeah, my third and final goal for 2025, be more of me as I possibly can be and document it online, share my journey. I'm going to share with you the road to hopefully achieving my goals this year. And even if it gets hard, even if it gets difficult, even if I start to doubt myself, I want to share everything. because I think it can help people. That really is the ultimate inspiration here. That's what's underpinning everything. I made this channel because I wanted to make videos that a younger version of me would find valuable, would find useful, and I am fully aware that there are tons of people out there who are just like me, or just like who I was, who can find videos like this valuable. I don't think that's arrogant. I don't think that's self-absorbed. Like, I used to have that like complex in my head of like, oh, who would want to listen to me? Who would find what I have to say valuable, and all this stuff? And I kind of get it, but I'm at a point now where I'm like, actually, no, that's not. It's not weird. It's not vain. Like, the arrogant thing, in my opinion now. My opinion's changed on this, but I think the arrogant thing to do is to feel like you're so unique, so brilliant, that you're completely unrelatable to anybody else on the planet. Like, how arrogant. Of course there are other people out there who are like you, who can take value from what you've got to say. And that's why I want to start sharing more, because I think it can help people. Now, I used to find goal setting and getting excited about New Year's resolutions and all that kind of stuff, I used to find it a little bit daunting, to be completely transparent, because I would maybe set goals that didn't really matter that much to me. I maybe would doubt whether I'd be able to achieve them or not, and then self-sabotage and not let myself get excited, because I didn't want to be disappointed in the end. And I don't really feel like that now. I'm actually quite excited about my goals for this year. And when I sit and think and visualize what I would feel like if I was to tick off these goals, I feel really good in my body, and I feel really excited to go out there and put in the work. And I thought, brilliant, this is a great video I can share with people. So here are, I guess, 3 pieces of advice that I would share with you if you are still unsure about what you want to achieve in 2025, if you're still a bit on the fence, if you still feel like it's 2024, if you still feel like in your head like you're stuck in last year, stuck in the past, if you still feel like you're waiting for a moment of inspiration, if you still feel like you're stuck in the old routines, the old habits, and you know that if you had a big enough anchor, a strong enough goal to work towards, that you would change your outlook and you would change your enthusiasm, but you're struggling, then listen up. Here are my 3 pieces of advice that I think will help you. So the first thing, and I kind of alluded to it a minute ago just then, is think about 12 months from now, and it's January 1st, 2026. What would have to happen in the previous 12 months for you on that day to feel full of dread and regret and guilt and shame, and that self-deprecating voice in your head which is like, I fucking knew it, you blew it again, another year gone, you're never going to get it back, you wasted it, you fumbled it, you could have done so much and you just didn't really give it your all again. All of those feelings, I know you know what I'm talking about. So sit there and visualize it for a sec. Okay, what has happened in the previous 12 months to get you to feel like that? I think you already know what that is. And my advice to you is, quite literally, just do the opposite of that. Like, you know what you need to do already. And if you can think about what it feels like to be full of regret and guilt and shame and embarrassment for not doing the work, that means you already know what work needs to be done. Like, that's sort of, it's fair to infer that, like, you know what work needs to be done if you already know what it feels like to not have done the work. So think about that for a sec. Second thing, which is sort of like the inverse of this, if you like, and I mentioned this in one of my previous videos. If you're struggling to set a goal which means a lot to you, think about what would make you proud of yourself if it were to happen. And that might not look or sound like a specific, measurable, actionable goal straight away, but you can refine it. It can give you a starting point. So for example, in order for me to be proud of myself, I might have let's just say for an example, a solid friendship circle, and I know I can count on all of my friends. That might make you feel proud of yourself. You have no idea why, you have no idea how to go and do that, but you understand inherently that that would make you feel proud of yourself. Okay, cool. Now you've got something to work with. Now you can turn that into a framework, turn that into a set of steps which can be anchored by a goal. And that is something I think everybody can do. So if you're struggling to pick a goal which means something to you, ask yourself, what would need to happen for me to feel proud of myself? And refine it until you've got a goal. The goal will reveal itself to you. Okay, the goal, I think, will reveal itself to you, quite honestly. That's something which has helped me massively in the past 12 months, both in the micro and the macro. Like, in the micro, it's like if I'm struggling with procrastination, I'm struggling with self-doubt, struggling with not knowing what to do, and I ask myself, what needs to happen right now for me to feel proud of myself? The answer reveals itself to me, and it's usually keep going. It's usually you've got this, don't stop. It's usually stop doubting yourself, keep going, because just around the corner you're going to get what you need. And I have ultimate clarity in those moments. If I'm out on a run and I'm thinking, oh God, like, do I stop running or do I keep running? I've got a stitch and my ankle's hurting, maybe I'm injured, maybe I'm not. I've got 8 kilometers left and maybe it's best if I just quit. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And that's that voice in my head. And I don't know what to do. I ask myself, what needs to happen for me to feel proud of myself? Now, in some moments, the answer might genuinely be stop running even though you want to continue, because right now you know you've got an injury and you need to stop. And you want to continue, but you know that you shouldn't. And for me to feel proud of myself would be to listen to the right voice in my head and stop running. Comma, on the flip side of that, it could be stop being a little bitch. You said you wanted to run a half marathon in under an hour and 40 minutes. Keep fucking going. You know? And I think when you ask yourself honestly, keyword there, honestly, what needs to happen in this moment for me to feel proud of myself? I think the answer is self-evident. I do. And then, third and finally, Dubai fountains going off just here. I'm not sure if you can see this in the background. I mean, this is just beautiful, by the way. I'm sat. Let me flip the camera. We are here at the Burj Khalifa, and we have the fountains going off in the distance over here. How beautiful is that? And I'm just sat here filming this video, having a great old time. Anyway, apologies if you can hear the music and it's a bit loud. I shall continue my third and final piece of waffle before I let you resume the rest of your day. Third bit of advice for setting goals, which you actually get done this year in 2025, is have big, scary goals that maybe you just don't quite think are realistic. Like, your goals need to stretch what you think is possible. When I set the goal of running a half marathon in an hour and 40 minutes, it genuinely filled me up with dread and fear and like, oh fuck. Like, that's not a universal feeling. Like, some people think that's a walk in the park. For me, that's scary. Do I think if I really put in the work and got a bit lucky on the day and nothing went wrong, I could pull it off? To be totally honest, I do. But for the most part, it's scary. And right this second, if I was to run it, I couldn't do it. I know I couldn't do it. So for me, that's a really good example of, like, your goals need to be scary and they need to stretch what you think is possible. Only you will know if that's the case or not. Like, only you will know if you're stretching yourself or playing it safe. But I think they have to be big and scary. And really, I mean, this is something I say to my clients all the time. You could climb to the moon if you had a ladder that was big enough. I.e., you can have the biggest goal in the world. As long as you have a big enough path to getting there and clear, steady steps that are all achievable, there's no goal that you can't achieve. Like, nothing is impossible if you've got enough steps between you and the goal. And I think if you've got a really big and scary goal, what makes it less big and less scary is a really good action plan. So set yourself a big scary goal. Yeah, brilliant. Feels a bit unrealistic. Okay, good. That's part one done. Part two, turn it into an action plan. Turn it into a series of steps. which you actually can complete. So for me, again, with this half marathon, it's like, okay, running it in sub 140, hard, scary, it's big, I don't know if I can do it. Let's break it up into an 8-week training plan. Okay, now I think it's pretty realistic. Now I think I can see myself doing it if I just stick to the plan. And if you go into 2025 with big scary goals, but you have an action plan, a series of steps, knowing how to achieve those goals, you understand deeply what it will feel like to not have done the work, so you know what that regret and dread's going to feel like if you don't do it, and you also feel a sense of pride when you think about achieving those goals, then you will conquer 2025. You will conquer it, because you will know exactly what needs to be done, you will be excited about doing it, and you will have a clear understanding of how you want to feel and how you don't want to feel come 2026. And I think those three things alone are the biggest reasons why people don't achieve what they want to achieve. They don't have clarity, they don't have motivation, and they aren't truly connected to the goals that they say they want to go out there and achieve. And again, like, the reason I'm making this video is because for the best part of 25 years, I went into the New Year's with that mentality. Lacking of clarity, lacking of motivation, and the goals I thought I wanted weren't really my goals. They weren't really deeply connected to the version of myself who I was striving to become, let's just say. And I think when you can attach your goals to the version of yourself that you're striving to become, then you will start to feel so much better about putting in the work. Like, I can't, like, my face is lighting up as I'm speaking there. Like, you will feel so much better when you put in the work, when it's work towards things which you are genuinely excited about, and it has something to do with the physical manifestation of your best self. Like, I think that is as succinctly as I can put it. You know who you're trying to become in an ideal situation. You know what work needs to be done in order to realize that and manifest that. So go out and do it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, I really, really, really want to make videos that people find valuable. Which sounds a bit like external gratification-y, but really I'm smiling because I'm about to hit end on this video, and I know that if I watched this video 4 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, it might have changed my life. And I guess I'm excited about it potentially changing somebody else's too. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you took some value from it. Let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was. Don't forget, if you like this video, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to be posting all types of videos over the coming months. Vlogs, talking to camera videos just like this, who knows what. I'm just figuring this platform out. I'm quite new to YouTube, but my vow is the same. I'm going to document as much as I can. So stick around if this is what you're into, and I will see you in the next video.